All right. Hold on. We never hit the countdown. I forgot. This is my first time back, Matt. Do you want me to hit it?
Yeah.
Because we're live right now. You want me to hit the countdown?
I know.
This is we're going to do it here. Hold on.
We have 12 people. Let's
oh, no.
Sorry,
Hold on.
you 12. 14, Dallas.
We're not ready. Dude, you got to...
And welcome back to the Splitting Hares podcast, presented by Jackrabbit Illustrated, and our premier sponsors, Drake's Place in Bowdle, South Dakota, and Cottonwood Coffee.
Oh, we are doing them proud today. My goodness.
So the 14 of you that were on before we started the countdown, you're welcome. You got to see us having some fun there. So, but back to Drake's Place in Cottonwood. If you find yourself driving out to the game this weekend and you're passing through Bowdle, South Dakota, be sure to stop at Drake's, get some gas, get some food, get your beverages there, get loaded up on your way out to Montana State. And same, Cottonwood Coffee. If you find yourself in Brookings sometime soon or are looking for a good Christmas present, order some coffee from them and get set up. So, Dallas, we haven't seen you in a little while. How the heck have you been?
Well, one, rusty as hell. I had one job to hit start, and I didn't do it, so that. But otherwise, dude, I'm doing great. I mean, one, December football, right? Like, what's better? This is fantastic. I'm so happy. I'm in a good sports. Thank you, Jordan. I'm in a great sports spot right now. The Jacks won. Vikings won, which I kind of care about, but not that much anymore because I gave up on them a long time ago. Wild are winning. Life is good, Matt. How about you?
Hey, I survived the week of flu in my house. So, last week I wasn't on with Kyle because one of my daughters was sick, and my other one was getting sick. And then slowly throughout the week, my third child got sick. My wife got sick. And then yesterday I woke up sick. So, the flu's leaving our house. Thank goodness. We're good to go now. So
yep, get those bugs out of there. You guys are all healthy. Got that immunity built up.
Yeah, we're all good for the winter now, right? That's how it works.
Yes, sir.
So good. All right, man. That was exciting yesterday.
What a fun day.
What a fun day. Exactly. Like, it was good. It was fun football the whole weekend. The James Madison game, obviously, they really blew out Montana. And we know from experience what can happen at Bridgeforth. That's a tough place to play. James Madison's on a mission this year. They're pissed off at the CAA, how they've been treated. They're just not happy campers out there, and they have a lot to prove. They're a good team too. They're a good program, a great program. The NDSU ETSU game yesterday, we all kind of knew, right? We said that in the group that, we've seen this song and dance before when it was tied 0-0 at the end of the first quarter.
Yep.
Right? That's just how it goes up there in the Fargo Dome a lot of times.
Yep. That was my text. I had a bunch of guys that I play with that have a conversation going, and they had the exact same thing. Oh man, they're gonna hang in there. Look at this. I'm like, no, dude, I've seen this game before.
Yeah.
I've seen this rerun so many times. This isn't gonna be close. And yeah, sure enough, they get it done.
No, that's just how it always happens.
Yep.
Teams can stop the run for a quarter, and then you just get hit over the head so many times that you break if you're not big enough or you don't have the depth.
Yep.
Like that. That's how it goes. And then our game, obviously, we'll touch more on that. And then last night's game, we're going to touch on that a little bit more too when we preview Montana State.
But what happened? I couldn't. It was so dark. I couldn't actually see what was going on at the game because
right.
Is that an FBS thing where you just don't light your field?
Right. Ooh, ouch.
Sorry.
Yeah. Is that I'm surprised they're not going in the MAC with as empty as their stadium was too. I mean, isn't that a MAC thing? I don't know.
I think it is. MAC.
But if they're going to be in the action, they're going to have lots of night games, so they better get their flashlight situation figured out. I don't know.
They did. I don't know. Maybe it was just the TV I had, but that was so dark. But
Yeah.
I ranted about that on Twitter. Most people agreed.
Ouch. Dallas, look at this. You're back after a month hiatus, and Darren's coming after you. Nice to see the better Dallas was at the game.
Well, one, what am I going to say to that? Yes. I am. Well, I'm the. Like I said, I am. I bring the Dallas average down hard, and that even includes Dallas beating him with a different spelling now. So that's cool.
Yeah. Well, hey, Dallas Beanham is turning into a baller. This is
Yes,
a great
he
place
is,
to start.
and you called it. He's fantastic. So let's dive into that game now.
Yeah, definitely. So, on the rants and raves, I did talk about Dallas Beanham and Cade Trevere. Just where they've come from. This playoff run. Both of them made impactful plays throughout. After playing during the season, but maybe not impacting the game this way. And the thing that stands out for both of them is just their tremendous effort, right?
Right. Can you remember a time when you watched a couple of young players? I mean, you always see people grow during a season, right? That's not a new thing. But towards the end of a season, into the playoff run, watching two guys just all of a sudden get it. Right? Not that they didn't get it before, but I mean, the results finally start coming, right? Like that's how like any sort of success happens is you chip away and then the results come. But like watching these two come on at the time that it has been so fun to see.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think of anyone like that, because SDSU has been a program that has had so many like established players and established leaders when they've made these deep runs the last 5 years, 10 years, however long you want to look back.
Right.
That I'm trying to think of anyone that has truly broken out like this in the playoffs. I mean, he was an older player and he made plays throughout the season, but Tolu last year, like his run in the playoffs in the spring was pretty good, capped off by the game of Sam Houston.
Yeah. I took Tolu's run more though as again just an experienced guy, really just taking the opportunities in front of him. But just watching two younger players really come into their own and imagining what they're going to be for the next few years is pretty cool.
Yeah, I think you're spot on with that for sure. So, what did you see, Dallas, watching the game? What stood out to you? Who stood out to you?
I mean, really. Other than Trevere, I thought Winkleman had honestly the D line in general, and I know that's always what stands out to me because I'm not the X's and O's guy that Kyle is, but they played so well the whole game, and watching that the first half was super frustrating because just on an individual level, everyone was doing what they needed to do. Mm-hmm. It was like I'm watching, and the line of scrimmage is moving. Guys are in the backfield. They're almost impacting plays, and it's just not quite happening. And it was just that I don't know if Villanova was running a little bit quicker developing stuff in the first half and moved into that, and maybe some slower developing plays in the second half. And that's something we've seen all year. As anybody that tries to run anything that develops slowly against South Dakota State just does not go well. Mm-hmm. Because, again, there's going to be one of those guys is going to get in the backfield and shake stuff up. So, I enjoyed that. I got to read through Kyle's notes here. As we were all talking during the game, watching the defense come around in the second half, I didn't think anything really changed.
Yeah.
Kyle had made a comment that we stunted more, and I don't know which is very possible. I didn't count it up or anything. But otherwise, it was really just like I was imagining a halftime where everybody said, okay, guys, we almost played like us minus about 4 major mistakes. Stop doing that, and we're going to win this walking away. And then that's what happened.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up about nothing really changing, because Villanova's head coach said something in his post-game presser that we just started rushing. We started dropping 8 players and rushing only 3. Nope. I don't know if I saw that at all. Like I don't. Once we did that and did the zone blitz or something, but I don't remember that at all. I was
going to comment, and this is just as a spectator watching, I felt like we had a backer walked up on the line of scrimmage more in that game than we have all year.
Sure.
I mean, there was all the time you're watching, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys standing at the line. Now, usually he would back off, but I don't know that we rushed 3.
No, I don't know. It was just weird.
We did run some zone dogs. I saw, I think, a few more of those than I typically have seen us run, and a couple of them we got caught. There was their quarterback rush for a touchdown or what? I'm trying to remember in the first half.
In that second quarter he did. Yeah.
Second quarter. Off. Okay. So on that one we got caught in a zone dog where was it Winkleman? Who was it? Anyway, somebody backed off, and if whoever you're rushing in place of the defensive lineman isn't in the right gap and just in the right spot, it doesn't work well against a run play when your defensive lineman's backpedaling 5 yards. Mm-hmm. So that hurt. But
yeah. Hey, Jim, excellent point. It was nice to see the team play the whole game.
Yeah.
Yes. And really, like, the first half wasn't terrible either. Just like we had the bad penalties, which were very questionable, the pass interference penalties. And honestly, though, like our offense, I felt like was doing fine. I never felt scared. Like, it was just like, man, why are we getting killed on these deep balls? And why are we getting called for these penalties that sure look suspect? At least the one on Cale Reeder, I don't get at all.
No. Same. I didn't get it. So I was back and forth between watching and listening on the radio. And the radio crew, Tyler and everybody, had a theory that just maybe they just call stuff differently in that league. Because were they SoCon refs or were they?
I think so. SoCon, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was basically just like, hey, they must call stuff different down there where they throw the ball and don't play defense.
Yeah.
Sorry, Steve Anderson's killing me here. Had a theory that Villanova lost because the coach was watching a different game.
Yeah, thanks, Brendan. Brendan confirms that it's SoCon for us. So
thank you. Brendan pays attention. I'm glad we got a stats guy here.
Yeah, perfect. So I guess going back, we're 11 minutes in, Dallas, almost 12 minutes, and we have not talked about the 605 Hogs and Isaiah Davis yet up to this point.
Did they all play? I think they did.
They did play, and I'm pretty sure we had 5 linemen on the field the whole time, and we ran the GD ball, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, we did. We came out and ran. So many conversations coming off of a week where everybody and their dog and their mother had all kinds of opinions on play calling. I don't think it happened this last week. I think everybody was pretty happy with Eck and the way that all turned out. Now, say it every week is it comes down to Stig calls at the execution of 18 to 22-year-olds, right? And I think everybody's glad usually that their job doesn't depend on that. But, man, play calling was fantastic. We ran the ball. Isaiah Davis is a frickin' man. There's nothing else. I have no other comments there.
Yeah. Seeing him go against their stud linebacker, and the stud linebacker won his fair share. The Ryan or whatever his name was.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Good player. Finished with 21 tackles. But seeing Isaiah Davis.
No, hold on. Did not. Really?
Yeah, I believe
good.
So.
All right, sorry. You go ahead and talk. I'm going to look this up. I'm calling shenanigans. I don't think it's that
21, 5 solo, 16 assists.
Good God. Okay.
So, it was awesome to see Isaiah drag him, at times down the field. So,
yep.
And then what did he say? Zimmer asked him a question after the game. What was it? I forget what it was. 43 was all over the place. Yes, Patrick. Yes. But it ended up being, how does it feel to finish as the leading tackler or whatever it was of your team or of Villanova history? And Zimmer goes, and the answer was, it doesn't matter. Like, we're done. We're not playing anymore.
Yeah.
Like football guy, big time there.
Yeah, no, that's how you respond to that. Sorry,
Patrick, jeez.
I had to throw that up. So, 21 tackles, just 8 yards downfield. Thank you, Patrick. Appreciate that. Putting it in perspective for us.
Ouch.
Yeah, that kid's a good player. How old is he, by the way? Do we know? Is he a senior?
He's done.
He's done.
Villanova loses everyone.
Gotcha.
They graduate everyone. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Then the 605 Hogs again. Maybe this is because Coach Eck's wife Kimberly was on with the B team, and took all of Ben's notes about running the ball. Maybe that's why we just saw them really run the ball and hammer it down their throat. So
Clearly that's how this works.
That's what it must be. I commented a little bit about how good Chris Oladokun has been and how kind of underappreciated he's been this season in Rants and Raves. And Go Jacks didn't have the updated stats this morning when I put this in Rants and Raves, but so these are even better than what I wrote this morning. But he's passed for like 2,800 yards, 24 touchdowns, rushed for 280, and he's only thrown 5 interceptions. I mean, that's about as good as you can ask for. Going
better than you can ask for. And at 5 picks, I think 2 of those. I mean, if you're counting the one, the end of the first half one yesterday, that was garbage. There should be a separate column for stuff like that. That doesn't count, right? When you're throwing a Hail Mary. And I think there's one other similar to that too. That just I don't know. He's played fantastic. Spoiler alert. To me, Davis and the Hogs very much, deserve player of the game. But God, I thought Chris played a great game again. Even being 11 of 19, nothing flashy, but just his pocket awareness and the way that he can extend plays, and that's what I think you're talking about when you say taking him for granted, because that is a grown up that understands how to do his job. And consistently impacts the game in a positive way.
Yep, and it really, when you look at it in that way, it's easy to see why he's getting looks now as probably a free agent NFL pickup. He's been invited to this the NFLPA Collegiate Bowl to play in that. It makes a lot of sense. He's going to end up in Canada or on a practice squad or something like that, and he'll have a chance to work himself in. Yep. But there's so many good intangibles that he can do. So,
well, and that's who. Even if he's not going to jump in, he's obviously not going to jump in and start somewhere or anything like that. But if you're looking for a backup quarterback that can come in, execute an offense, and give your other playmakers a chance to win a game, what the hell is he doing right now? Right?
Yeah. Right.
Fantastic, and he could. I get the feeling be the spotlight for us. We could try to ride either running or him throwing the ball, but we've just got so many other weapons, it's not necessary. Yep. So I could not say enough about him.
Yeah. Speaking of other weapons, Jackson Yankee, again, another 100-yard game. I think that should put him over 1,000 on the season. If not, he's darn close. He's got to be knocking on the door there for 1,000. I'm going to look that up quick. Just his run after catch, his physicality. He's 6'3". That was an interesting story. Had you ever heard that story that the broadcast team mentioned that the Jacks wanted to make him and his brother linebackers? Had you ever heard that? No,
I had not. Where did they say that during the game? Because I don't.
Yeah, they said that during the game, and that their mom said no, they're going to be wide receivers.
Don't mess with mom.
Yeah, so I thought that was super interesting. And the story that I had always heard was that, they were so busy in the summer with basketball and stuff, they never really got on the camp circuit. And then coaches didn't know for sure if they were going to play basketball, play football, what the story was going to be. And so that's how they ended up just being walk-ons for the Jacks at wide receiver. I just think that's pretty phenomenal. That's the story that I had always heard. I'd never heard the story about mom saying no, they're not linebackers. So am I remembering that wrong? Anyone else, can someone in the chat, did they say that last night? Or
I did. Like I said, I flipped back and forth. I was running between a hotel and a hockey rink, so I listened to some of it. And just to verify, 10 Yankee is at 1,061 yards. So yes, he is north of 1,000.
10 Yankee. Okay, where are you seeing that he's at 10,061?
Not 10,061, 1,061. And it's just in the cumulative stats of the website.
So strange, because when I click on his name, his individual name on the roster, it pulls up 1079.
Oh, okay.
So bizarre. I don't get how our websites are they don't talk to each other. That's a rant there. All right, thanks, Patrick, for letting me know I'm not crazy. Okay, Dan, awesome. That's what the announcer said. Perfect. Okay.
Everybody's backing you up. Okay.
Okay. Thanks, guys. I wasn't sure. All right. Let's do some. Let's sort this out. Maybe we can figure this out because we have smart listeners or whatever. Are cowbells artificial noisemakers? Is that a Missouri Valley rule that we can't have those, or is that an NCAA rule? Because I thought it was an NCAA rule.
I thought it was Missouri Valley, but I saw your rant, and I actually questioned my understanding of it.
Because I mean, if it is a Missouri Valley rule, not an NCAA rule, what have we been doing all these years with home playoff games then?
I don't know. We got two people who said Missouri Valley here so far.
Okay. Well, thanks, folks. I guess could be a school rule. Well, we'll talk to Justin Sell about that, Patrick. Okay, next time we have him on, we'll let him know that we want to change that school rule.
Ridiculous. Do we have interns that can look this up?
I don't know. They make videos, not look stuff up. All right. Yes, Jordan, Mississippi State is famous for their cowbells down there. So, all right. What are we missing? Anything else that stood out to you yesterday? Oh, another quick rant. I'll let you go, Dallas. I'll save my rant.
Oh, no, I don't know that I have anything else significant. Again, watching just the commitment to the run. He could not be more confident in Isaiah Davis and the offensive line. Some frustrations. Did we have three? Did we jump offside 3 times?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Those were, and they really seemed like frustrating times in the game to do that to me as well. At least the first couple were. So that was too bad. Coming up with the turnover when we needed it, that's a really good feeling for the offense to really kind of take some swagger and just say, all right, we're gonna end this game on our terms. We're gonna be done here. That was great because that was Beanham that knocked that one out, right?
Yep.
I think it was Beanham, and then it was the Colonel that recovered it.
Yep.
Big fella getting downfield. God, I love that. That is, anytime a big guy gets downfield like that, I hope every parent with a child in youth sports points that out and say, listen, this is what happens when you get near the ball, whatever sport you play and you hustle, like something's going to happen eventually. So that was cool to see.
Mm-hmm. I got to talk about special teams quick. But before I do that fumble at the end, this is a great point. Terry, great timing. What the heck is with everyone saying we should be out of gas? That fumble at the end that the Colonel recovered showed me that we are not a team that's out of gas. Did you see how many guys were around that ball?
Yep.
That was nuts.
Yep.
There was 2 or 3 people there when Dallas forced the fumble. And then by the time the ball was recovered, it was all Jackrabbits in the picture. There was hardly a Villanova player in the area on that. That is just tremendous hustle and heart by the team and effort.
Yep.
And we're not a team that's out of gas. So thanks for saying that, Terry. I appreciate that.
There was also, I did notice Villanova. I mean, the game was over, not in a USD over kind of a way, but the game was done, and you could see just Villanova's body language just dropped, and they were like, there was still probably. We weren't to the point where we could kneel on it yet, and they were just, you could tell they just went, okay, we're done now. Sorry, guys. Mm-hmm. So that jumped out at me.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys are bringing zingers tonight. Man, Steve Anderson. Didn't Villanova have the number 2 rush defense? Couldn't tell. Jeez. Jim Poppin. Cole Fromm's kicking was great. Yes, it was. Cole Fromm was excellent last night.
Yep.
And our special teams, just as a whole, was just awesome.
What do you think of 9 Yankee back there?
I like it. Wasn't it 10? Or no, 9's on punts, but 10's doing. Yeah, no 9. Yeah, you're right. Jaden's doing kickoffs. Sorry.
Okay.
Thank you.
No, that's all right. And again, their names are similar and they're identical. Yep. So I'm from here on out. I'm going with 9 Yankee and 10 Yankee. I'm done with trying to get the names right.
No, I like that. He looked good. He looked confident doing that. I love Tyler as our special teams return guy. but he's just lost his confidence right now, and it's going to take some time to get that confidence.
Yeah, and he has every reason in the world to get it back. I mean, he's a fantastic athlete. Like, remember how juiced we were when he started returning? And he'll get there. He'll get there.
Yep, exactly. I thought, again, our coverage units are great. Jack MD on Twitter, he commented, "Why are teams still trying to return kicks against us?" Because really, and Kevin Brenner is a defensive end, and he is a menace on kick coverage. 92. We talk about effort. I mean, that's someone that I could see developing, as that effort and like Cade Trevere it has right now. Just a tremendous player. And to see a defensive end getting down there to smoke the kick returner is awesome. I don't know. It just gives me – didn't Everson Griffin do that when he broke into the league?
Yep.
It was like played special teams.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool.
And that will get you on the bus too.
Yep. Isaiah Davis fielding that punt in the first half to give the Jacks a short field, catching it instead of letting it roll. That was huge. Hunter Dustman really punted the ball well outside of that one that he shanked and the wind kind of caught too. That ended up being a 26-yard punt. I mean, special teams right now is playing really well for the Jacks. Really
it is.
Well.
Caleb Frankel always jumps out at me when I'm really paying attention to who's downfield and around the ball in special teams too.
Yeah, he looks good out there. So, one thing that I do want to just talk about quick, because we got so many comments during the game, is Kobe Huter playing at safety. He's a true freshman out of Texas. We commented on him last week. I did in Rants and Raves, just showing some surprise and happiness that he was on the field. He's someone that was injured in the offseason coming in. He is someone that they thought would probably push to play before he got hurt. But he got hurt, worked his way back from injury, was playing super, super high level in practice, and just kind of showed that, you can't keep him off the field. Last night was a rough night, but man, he is going to be a very good player for the Jacks. Don't be too down on him right now based on a couple busted coverages last night, Jackrabbit fans. He is going to be a great one for us. I have no doubt about that.
Not to put you on the spot, but since you're a recruiting guy and I mean, you really have a finger on the pulse. I mean, do you have any background on how we wound up getting him? Just because my only understanding was or my only knowledge was I looked at a guy from Texas and went, Texas. All right, cool.
Yeah. So remember last year we had him from all over. His was, I'm trying to remember if this is the one with the Jordan Brown tie-in. Jordan Brown's head coach.
Oh, I remember that.
Or was that the linebacker?
I don't remember who it was, Alabama. But I remember that. Anyway, like I said, didn't mean to put you on the spot. I was just wondering if you had any background there.
Yeah, no, we better go back and listen to that podcast from Lujan last year when we broke down each player and how the connections went. So, but he committed pretty early, actually. So, yeah. All right, Patrick, you have a good question here. Do you guys, special teams unit, use a majority of starters, or do they bring in most of the reserves? But our guys always look gassed because we use a lot of starters. Patrick, we use our special teams to develop players mostly. Typically, especially on our coverage units and blocking units, that's where the younger players will cut their teeth. Two players that are super, reminiscent, I guess, that I think about, Don Gardner and Preston Tetzloff. Gained a ton of confidence being special teams dynamos kind of their sophomore year, and then they took a jump, became starters, and then Preston became just an invaluable outside linebacker for us. Don Gardner became an All-American cornerback. Up until, though, they kind of took that jump on special teams and really gained some confidence, it was kind of unknown how they were actually going to turn out for us. So, so good question, Patrick. Really appreciate that. But we use our special teams to develop players versus have starters on there. So typically,
although, I mean, we will, I mean, like I remember, a couple of weeks ago, when Backus came back, he jumped out on special teams that week, didn't he? Am I
think
remembering
that
that
was
right?
just more. Yeah, he did, and that
Okay.
was against UND, right? Or was that against UC Davis? Whichever
I
game it
don't.
was.
Yep.
They asked Stig about it in the post game. Um, that why was Backus out there? Logan asked to be on that.
Ah,
I don't know if that was just to get the blood flowing after
that
sitting out a half
that
or
would make
what.
sense. That would make
But
sense. Okay.
yeah, yep. That's a great question. I like
It
that.
was.
All right, let's do game balls.
Do it.
All right, so our game balls are presented by Jackrabbits Central. It's not too late to get those Christmas gifts ordered. If you've been on lately, they have some new merchandise. I'm sure, if we do make Frisco, they'll have some new, awesome, amazing shirts. Last year, their shirts were so cool. So looking forward to that. But sure, get on jackrabbitcentral.com. Get your stuff ordered, whether it's for your wife, your kids, your husband, your dogs, your student that you have maybe at SDSU, and get that underneath the Christmas tree. It's not too late. So
What if my student went to a different school? Can I still buy some for her?
she's still a Jackrabbit fan. So
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, thank you, Jackrabbit Central. Appreciate your support all year long. All right, game balls. On offense, I went with Isaiah Davis. I gave it to the 605 Hogs last week. The way they dominated that good Villanova front, it'd be easy to give it to them, but Isaiah Davis just looked really special, just dragging defenders. Man, he looks like a good player. He looks so fresh right now, and he should,
Yeah.
right?
No, yeah, this is the time of year when, casual football fans, when there's nothing else on, are watching, watching some of these games. And I had a buddy, I think I sent it to you, Matt. I had a buddy that knows nothing about SDSU football, and about a quarter in, he's like, you guys need to give 22 the ball for the rest of the offensive plays from here on out. And, yeah, you can't. You're not wrong.
Yeah. Hey, Ken Brooks, we should have brought this up. Any update on Pierre? He's day to day. It's who knows, 50-50 at this point, probably. It sounded like, he was moving fine on the sidelines and stuff. So we know that it's not necessarily a knee or anything like that. So 50-50, questionable at this point. We'll see.
Did Steak? Sorry, I didn't watch post game. Did Steak say anything after the game?
He must have in the presser because Zim had in his article that possible concussion, and the hit just kind of had him rattled a little bit.
Got it. Yeah, sorry, I saw that tweet. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, and Terry brings this up. Mar Johnson, had some good carries too. Yeah.
He did. That's a good point. We almost neglected to bring that up. Like it was a bit like watching him, kind of audition for what, for the future and what he could look like, and it was exciting.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. All right, back to game balls. Defense. This was hard. It was just a really good group effort on defense. I don't even remember who I went with. I'm gonna go.
You went with the Colonel. You went with the Colonel. You went with the Colonel.
And he was disruptive the whole game, beating up on those guards in the center on there and stuff. So, he's just a heck of a player. And his effort to run down the field, Dallas, like you talked about, and hop on that fumble, just tremendous from a defensive tackle. I love that guy. So
I would. He's come on so strong that it feels like a lazy pick. But Trevere, because he had a sack and a forced fumble, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, you hit the stat sheet with those two things, and that's an auto winner for me.
I feel like I've given it to him the last 2 weeks, though.
Probably. Well, he's had freakish performances. What else are you gonna do?
I take that back. I went with Dallas Beanham, against UC Davis. So it's with the 3 picks and one being a pick 6. I just had to on that one. And then special teams. I did go with Jaden Yankee on that. I mean, those returns looked good. Like there's a couple of them I thought could have gone. So yeah. All right. Let's move on. Let's start talking about Montana State here. Oh man. So this game, Montana State, I don't know how many of you actually watched the Sam Houston game last night. And this we're gonna pop up Jordan's comment right away. I don't remember thinking the Sam Houston State offensive line was terrible during the championship, but last night they looked horrible. Is the MSU D line that good, or did I miss something? So Dallas or Jordan, before we got on the air, Dallas and I talked about this a little bit. All year, I just heard about how Sam Houston State's offensive line was better. They got guys back from injury. They got in a big transfer. Because I don't think they were that good in the national championship game either. I mean, we knocked Schmidt around in that game, and he made some nice plays. He's a dynamic player. He's a good player, but we beat the crap out of him in that game, I thought.
Yep.
And so I was shocked that Sam Houston State's offensive line looked like that last night. But I do think part of that is Montana State's defensive line is very good too.
Yep, it is. I'm actually most concerned about their defensive line, and again, that's knowing that that honestly the 605 Hogs might be the strongest part of our team at times when they're all playing together. I don't know. Honestly, Sam Houston played so bad. I don't know how much you can take out of that one game. I mean, they were gassed. They were done. They half the time looked like they didn't want to be there.
Yep.
I've seen a lot of people blame it on the whole like 24 games in a calendar year thing. May or may not be something. I don't even care. But that team just did not. I almost used my swear word for the year. That team did not care. They just looked like they didn't want to be there.
Yep.
And sorry, I gotta touch on Kyle, who's unable to be here tonight. That was something he had commented on, that just the length. The very, very rangy defensive line, and they've got a pass rush we haven't seen really, other than maybe the Furry Cows, lowercase NDSU, and mentioned number 3. They've got a Washington transfer that's a complete load. That's going to be tough. So I don't know who he's matching up against, but we got to be ready.
Yep, and I remember Patrick, is an Ewu fan. Says Montana State's defense is that good, 100%. Yes, they are. So 2 things here on Montana State that I've noticed. So when we played them and they came to Brookings a couple of years ago and we beat the snot out of them, they didn't have the horses at that point. And that's what their fans said, reading their fan forum, either head coach. I believe that was the game where, Jeff Choate just was kind of a poor sports, but he found out he had like kidney stones or something right after the game. I believe that was the story.
What?
It was something kind of weird.
We'll go with it.
Yeah. So, anyways, they just didn't have. They weren't big enough. The Hogs demolished them. So they went out and got some big people, or grew up the kids that were in their program, and now they're huge. They're stout. They're physical. They're nasty. So it's going to be a good game to see the Hogs on this unit. We'll see what it looks like. How we play as a unit. Are we going to show up as an offensive line like we did against NDSU and control the line of scrimmage? Or is it going to be like you and I, who also, who has that next best defensive line in the conference, and they kind of control the line of scrimmage? Who shows up? That's what we got to know from the Hogs.
Yep.
So,
and that is going to be a rough environment. I mean, what did we see? They sold out that stadium, or what they had available, in 12 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, they're ready to go.
Yeah, but it's going to be an awesome environment for sure. But that's misleading, because season ticket holders, they have a ton of season ticket holders, and season ticket holders can buy up to 5 tickets, I read somewhere. And so they just had to reserve, whatever that was. Who knows how many tickets they actually had available last night to be sold in those 12 hours. But still, impressive. It's going to be a great environment. Don't want to discount that at all. So
no, I wonder how many Jacks fans will be able to make it out there. I want to so bad. I don't know if it's going to work for me or not, but man, that'd be fun.
Yeah, there's a lot that want to go. I saw a post today, right, that someone's looking for like a block of 10.
Yep.
Yeah, good luck right now on that. Oof,
yeah.
That's going to be tough.
Total sidebar, they're not a sponsor, but if you get out there, if you don't try to eat breakfast at a place called Jam, you're doing it wrong. Oh my God. Best breakfast I've ever had in my life. So good.
Yeah?
Yep.
All right. So let's look just really quick here. A Montana State schedule. Is just their defense. I watched their opening game of the year against Wyoming. It was the Saturday after the Jacks beat Colorado State. And Montana State was up at the end of that game, but ended up losing 16-19. And you could tell at that point their defense was really good, really fast, really physical, because Wyoming put up some points this year. Turned out to be an okay offense, and they really struggled against that Montana State defense. The most points this Montana State team gave up was 29 points at Montana to end the season when they lost 10-29. And Montana did that mostly through the air. In that game, they finished with just 55 rushing yards. So that's something to watch for sure. This is a damn good defense, so we better be ready to play.
It is. Well, I mean, holding. I regret nothing. I've been not an Eastern Washington fan, but I've been impressed with them the entire season. I thought they'd make it farther than they did. To hold that offense to 20 points is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I watched Brawl of the Wild, and I couldn't quite tell. I was surprised that they'd end up as lopsided as it did. I mean, those are both very good teams.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see this matchup on our offense against their defense. This could be will be another low-scoring game.
Yep.
We'll do predictions in a little bit, but I want to talk about Montana State's offense and touchdown Tommy a little bit here as we get going. So one thing that if you're Sam Houston, you have to be a little bit, especially the defensive coordinator for Sam Houston, a little bit, pissed about, was that this quarterback you had one game of tape on against UT Martin, this Tommy Malloy. And as a passer, he looked awful. 8 for 20, 51 yards, a long of 13, and 2 sacks. So you see that line as a passer, and you think, okay, we can deal with that.
So you're right, but it's not like you don't prepare for someone to throw the ball. I mean, they've been doing that all year. So I'm serious. I was surprised that they could give that much up. I more just question I paid zero attention to Sam Houston all year intentionally because I didn't want to. But I don't know. Is their pass defense just bad?
Must be. But here's the thing. In that game against UT Martin, he had 23 rushing attempts for 180 yards, 2 touchdowns, a long of 73. He can run the ball. So yeah. It just shocked me seeing how bad Sam Houston misjudged his ability, his talent. I mean, it's probably impossible. I don't know. Do you go look at a kid's huddle tape to see what he can do? Honestly, this is starting a freshman on this is just nuts. So we'll see what Berge and Rogers come up with to maybe confuse him, give him some different looks. But he showed last night that he can throw the ball as well as he can run the ball.
Well, let's not let him look like frickin' Tim Tebow anymore, please.
No shit.
Because he was. Oh, hold on. You get to swear and I don't? What's going on?
You can swear.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Ben and Brendan, you got the green light.
Well, Ben and Brendan swear. They're the After 9 podcast now. So it's late night podcasting.
Got it.
Yeah. Jordan, yes. We had to confuse the freshman quarterback. Looked like an All-American yesterday, but I think that's partly because they played Sam Houston defense. Yeah. I don't know. Jim, weather's going to be not too much of an issue.
Yep. We had a question. I just looked it up here. High of 37 on Saturday, 0% chance of precipitation. Wind out of the south-southwest, 12 miles per hour. Wind gusts up to 27. And 50% chance of cloud cover.
So, yeah. Darren, was it more so that Sam Houston beat themselves? No. I mean, those turnovers, Montana State forced those turnovers with relentless pass rush. They gave their offense short field in that first half. They were the better team last night for sure, without a doubt. I mean, Sam Houston didn't look interested playing in that game, and as aggressive as Montana State came out on both sides of the ball. Ryan Drake, yes, no turnovers will be key. Yeah, we got to protect the ball because you saw how that got that team fired up last night. They scored on a shot play right after the turnover, an interception, I believe, or interception or fumble, whatever it was. Yeah. Patrick, just to go back to nonsense here for a second, half the B Team podcast about milk and barbecue. Yeah, right? Milk. Again, like, we're not even sponsored by the Dairy Association or the Dairy Bar or anything like that. And we got to talk about Brendan carrying around cheese in his pocket in high school. I mean, come on.
We should be sponsored by the Dairy Bar, though, be honest with you.
Next year. And yes, the place is going to be rocking out there.
Yep.
We cannot afford to give them any additional momentum.
No.
Dallas, you were there at the Gold Rush game. You want to talk about your experience at the Gold Rush game?
Fantastic environment. It was about as much fun at a football game as I think I've had. I mean, it's one of those crowds. It's a smart crowd. They understand football, right? It isn't trying to compare it to somebody else. You go to a Gophers game, you go to Colorado State, and there's a bunch of people, but they don't really get football. I'm serious. I just, people show up and they woo, yell and whatever. But I mean, it's a football crowd. They get it. They were into it. Very, very fun environment. You've got the mountains there in the background. It's going to be tough. Especially just, again, going up against this team that's, I think Kyle said they're playing with house money, basically. You flip your quarterback, you're an 8 seed, you take out the 1 seed. I mean, they're just ready to go, and they're playing loose. We better be ready. We better be ready. I know. I mean, hell, Kyle compared that quarterback to Jake Locker, which that's not a bad comparison, I don't think. I mean, this guy looks good. We better be laced up for sure.
Yeah, it just sucks that when they made this move, or when we found out that Montana State's starting quarterback was transferring 2 days before their game against UT Martin. I don't know about you, but I made a joke about it. I thought they
were done.
I thought they were cooked. Yeah.
Me too. I'm like, you're over. Bye.
Yeah, and it turns out there's a reason he left. I mean, geez, is he did he play in other games this year? I haven't even looked it up. Or is he? Because they have Tanner Rovig is their backup, who's been their backup all year. So that's what I'm curious about. Is it going to is it going to be, I don't know. Is he going to be able to redshirt? Is he going to be able to use that 4-game redshirt rule? Chad, Dallas is looking this up. During the Packers game, yes, I am podcasting during the Packers game. I am committed here to the Jackrabbits. So, all right. Thanks, Matt Baker. Yes, he played every game. Appreciate that.
So he hit the stat sheet, Idaho State, Idaho, and obviously UT Martin, Sam Houston. So he didn't. Sure. It looks like he came in the first first handful of games. It was just 2 to 4 rushing attempts. Cal Poly came in 1 for 74. So it was really coming in with his legs. And then, obviously came in strong this last one. So fantastic athlete.
Yeah, definitely. Is he a true? Or is he?
Oh,
God.
God.
Open?
No,
Sorry, if you closed it already, don't worry about it.
All right, I closed it. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. So, anyways, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing him. I'm looking forward to see Troy Anderson. We haven't talked about Troy at all. Last time we saw Troy Anderson, he was in Brookings, and I believe he was still trying to play quarterback and linebacker, and I think he had a club on his hand as well that game. And then, what was it? Dallas. They ended up pulling him out, right? Because he just couldn't throw. He had the club.
Yep, that is correct. Sorry, they've got a 2020 picture, so no, he's not a true freshman right now.
Okay, sounds good. Hell, Troy might play some quarterback. Bring him back. That'd be great. So, cool. All right, let's do some predictions here. And predictions are sponsored by our friend Eric Erickson at Cutler Law Firm. It's Eric's birthday today, so happy birthday, Eric. If you listen to this podcast later, I know you do. So Cutler Law Firm is a full-service law firm in Sioux Falls. They build relationships based on trust, treating clients with honesty and integrity. That personal attention provides prompt, efficient legal solutions in corporations and businesses, financial services, litigation, trusts, and estates, and more. So if you're interested in Eric or Cutler Law Firm, give them a call at 605-271-4938 or Eric E. at cutlerlawfirm.com. And again, happy birthday, buddy.
Happy birthday.
Well. And with that, I know he was heavily involved in the Sioux Empire Staters, and we just got to talk quick about Shenanigans. I know they sponsored the segment on the B team, but if you are in the Sioux Falls area, try to get there to Shenanigans to watch the game. Looks like an awesome environment. They do so much to support the Jacks, always putting up the games and giving Jackrabbit fans a place to watch together. So get to Shenanigans for that. It's going to be awesome. So, Patrick, it's been fun having you on tonight. Appreciate this. So this is going to be such a great matchup. I'm excited. So am I. Very excited. I know this is kind of a B team thing, Dallas, but let's pick these other games. We got some time here. So I know we don't even have to do scores because there's no lines or anything like that. So who are you taking, NDSU or James Madison? What are your thoughts on this game first?
I could not be more torn. I just got done arguing with somebody on Twitter that thought that JMU was going to compete for an FBS national championship, which makes me want to root for lowercase NDSU, but I don't think I can do it. God, this is just flat out who. So I'm conflicted, right? There's who I think we match up against better, and then there's who I think will actually win. Just thinking out loud here. I mean, both teams travel extremely well, right? So it's going to be a challenge trying to take at least half the stadium versus either one of those two in Frisco. I think the homeless cows get it done. Yeah. I'm gonna take North Dakota State by. I think they can grind it out. I think they're still better up front and probably by 8 to 9 points. Yeah. Who do you got?
So Scott, yes, Watson has not played yet in the playoffs. He has a pulled hammy. Sounds like he could be fine. They just haven't needed him. And with his,
the best player in the country to not get used.
Yep.
If I was his mom, I'd be so mad.
Yeah, he's gonna have to. I mean, he's gonna have to run obviously really well at the combine, or if he gets a combine or his workout or anything like that, so that he really can't afford to damage his hamstring if it is tight at this point. From a future business perspective on his end, I think he wants to be 100% and have that hammy good to go before he has to run and make some money. So. I'm thinking NDSU. They just want this. They're upset about the spring season. It's not what they wanted at all. I'm thinking they have a lot to prove this year. James Madison is leaving. They don't want their last crack at James Madison for the foreseeable future to be a loss. Fargo go ahead.
I was saying part of it for me emotionally is you can't quit the division and leave with a trophy. Like that ain't happening. That ain't cool.
Yeah, right. And as much as I hate it, because I do not want to be down in Frisco with a bunch of NDSU fans. I just don't. I don't. I mean, I got a lot of flack during Bison Week for just talking about how much I hate the Bison, and it's not anything personal against any individual. It's just you guys have ripped our damn hearts out so many times.
It is.
Like it's just
at hotel this morning. I worked out with a guy in a Bison t-shirt, and we talked about it. And he was very civil. And he's like, "Oh, I even hired some Jackrabbits at my business." And like that's great, but I hate him. I can't. I mean, that guy's fine. I can't stand him. I can't stand the fan base. But to beat Big Brother for the prize like that'd be cool. I could take that.
Yeah, that would be cool. So, I mean, yeah. So I'm going to take NDSU. Chad's saying NDSU by 14. I don't think it's going to be that much. I think it's probably going to be 6-7 points at the most on that. So.
I'm gonna go 8 points. Chad, are you trying to hop on here? I see you down below.
No, he just likes to come on and be in the background. He's done this before. Yeah. Oh man, this is funny. Patrick, please join us all the time. You're too nice. In the Big Sky, we are disrespectful as F to our rivals. Patrick, it's like it's South Dakota nice here, Patrick. So, yeah. All right. So, yes, as Jordan pointed out, there is just one game this weekend. And so we're both taking NDSU. I'm taking them by, like I said, 6, 7 points, somewhere in there. So, all right, let's talk about our game then. I'm predicting, again, a low-scoring game here. Two very good defenses.
Hold on. Before you actually pick the game, what do you think the line will be? Just to lead into what the B team's going to talk about.
Oh man, geez, I think them beating Sam Houston the way they did is going to maybe change things. I was probably predicting like an SDSU -2.5, going in or so. But I think it's going to sway the other way. I think it's going to be Montana State now about 2.5 their direction maybe. So
see, and I 2.5 was actually what I was going with, and I'm going to stick with it because if you're taking, they're trying to take the money of people that don't pay that much attention, right? Mm-hmm. And you've got an unseeded team that just took out the 4 and the 5, and clearly they can beat the 8 seed, right? So that I think it's going to be South Dakota State by like 2.5.
You think so? Yeah.
Yep, I do.
Okay. Interesting. So my prediction on the score is, well, MSU have the big game hangover. Who knows? They whooped the socks off of Sam Houston, so who knows? I don't know. Their crowd's going to give them so much energy.
Yep.
So much energy. Dion, do you think really 6.5 for us from Vegas? Ooh, I don't know, man.
Again, they're catering to people that don't know what they're talking about. So I wouldn't be shocked. I don't agree with it, but I wouldn't be shocked.
Sure. Okay. So again, physical game, low scoring, 2 good defenses. I really do think Berge and Rogers are going to have something cooked up for this kid. There's 2 games of film on him now. They're vastly different in how he did as a passer. Was Sam Houston's pass defense just that bad? Was he just that on fire? Who knows? Lots of good questions there, but we are going to have to shut him down as a runner. We do know that. And their defense is damn good. So I'm predicting SDSU 20, Montana State 17.
Okay. And my friend, I'm going South Dakota State 24-21. It's not going to be there's going to be a field goal in the second half, not at the end of the game because I'm a Vikings guy. But maybe, and again, so back to channeling that Gold Rush game out there. That was when Vinatieri had his fake field goal where he ran it in. So I think Fromm's going to come through second half. We're winning by a field goal, 24-21. Cue up the fiddles. Let's go to Texas.
All right, there we go. Any, we always do players, difference makers for players. What are we thinking?
You can put me on the spot here first.
I'm thinking, we talked about him a lot. Chris Oladokin. This is going to be his game where I think he's going to have to put the team on his back. And we're going to still have to try to run the ball and stay balanced, but I think Chris is going to have to get it done through the air with his arm.
I'm still waiting for the game when they put in where he runs for about 170 yards. Maybe we're waiting for Frisco. I don't know. Can I also pick Chris?
Yeah, sure.
Is that being lazy? All right, now I'm gonna go with Chris. Okay. I think he's got I'll put him on about a 16 for 20. Maybe one rushing, one passing. Just takes care of the game. Chris Oladokin on offense, defense. I almost after you talking up the new kid from Texas, I almost want to go with him.
Oh, Kobe.
Because so again,
back, huh?
Well, a kid's a great athlete, right?
Yep.
We have all the confidence in the world. We just first half defensively, just as a team, we did not play great. Made a couple of mistakes. They're going to see that on film. They're going to go, okay, we're going to pick on the freshman. Kid's going to pick one off, maybe house it. Let's go with Kobe.
Okay. Dang. All right. Defensive side of the ball. Logan Backus. I'm going with him. I know that's not anything too out of this world. But man, his interview, I should have brought this up. Him and Wes Gannett, their interviews last night with
Oh,
Tyler Merriam were so damn good.
I had the same thought. Same thought. I'm glad you said that. Both of them. Wes is like honestly, Parker's fantastic. But listening to Wes, I'm like, oh, if Parker's done, Wes could step in and just do that job. Like the way that he carried himself, explained things, like it was great.
Yeah.
And you brought up how. I forget how you worded it, but basically just how respectful they were of the teams that they played and well-spoken, great leaders.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just think Logan's not ready to be done yet. And I know he's been banged up, but man, you could see how he was running to the ball last night too. I mean, he wants to keep playing. He's going to make some plays. He hasn't had as many splashy plays this year as we're used to with him. But this is going to be the game. So
Love it.
All right. Thank you, everyone. This is honestly just as always humbling to see how many of you tune in to hear us talk.
Well, the comments are so helpful too, right? Like it guides the conversation. It gives us other points. Like I love hearing what everybody's got to say.
Yeah. So again, please like, share, continue to comment on our stuff. We appreciate being a part of the FCS Fans Nation. For those of you out there listening through that arena, just really appreciate it. So thank you. And as always, go big, go blue,
Go Jacks.
Jacks.
Let's go.